Welcome in, everyone, to episode 88 of Catfish on Ice. This is Chad Minton, your host, with co-host Rich Howe. We are vibing right out of the weekend, thanks to our Nashville Predators.
Robbie. We're
how you
vibing,
feeling,
Robbie.
Rich? Rich, are you vibing right now? Come on now.
Oh, yeah.
That's what all the cool kids say. All the cool kids say they're vibing.
All the Preds fans are vibing right now, I would think. I mean, riding a 5-game win streak.
5-game winning streak. They swept the road trip, which, hey, go back and listen to previous episodes last week. Neither myself or Rich will pretend to say that we thought the Preds would sweep that 4-game road trip.
Absolutely not.
What did I say, Rich? Let's go ahead and refresh everyone. Or maybe you can, Rich. What did I say the Preds had to do on this 4-game road trip for me to feel like I'm confident in them? What did I say?
Win 3 out of 4.
Win 3 out of 4. And what did they proceed to do?
They won 4 out of 4, Chad.
Yes, they did. You are correct on that, good sir.
They won the one that we thought would be tough. They
did. And so I got to sit here and say today that the Nashville Predators, they proved something to me today, or this 4-game road trip, I should say. And I got to say, they're toying with my heart right now. That's what they're doing.
They sure are. Mike Twitter was at the Devils game. That's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a cool game. I was in the house Friday night at the Devils game. Well, that's a good game to be at, Mike Twitter.
That was a good
one
because
I feel like the Devils have become the new Columbus Blue Jackets for us. Like, we just know how to play them. But anyway, that 4-game road trip was surprising for me. You're probably a liar if you thought that if you predicted that the Preds are going to win 4 in a row on that road trip. You probably need to start gambling on some sports and win yourself a lot of money because no one saw that.
I would say so. Yeah. Nobody saw that. I didn't see that. I was actually hoping for 2 out of 4, truthfully, if we're being honest right now.
Well, the Rangers game was the game where we were like, okay, that's the opponent that is probably superior to the Predators, but we'll get into that game. We're going to actually recap the whole road trip in our opening face-off tonight. But before we get into anything tonight on episode 88, we are located in Nashville. We are located very close to the devastating tornadoes that hit this region, hit a large region that spanned over several states. And we cannot express enough our prayers and our condolences to everyone who is affected tonight by the devastation by those tornadoes. Rich, you're in Kentucky. I am in Tennessee. We are both very fortunate. We didn't get hit by the mass devastation that these tornadoes laid out on late Friday night, early Saturday morning. But right across the Tennessee border into Kentucky, there was devastation that you will not see almost ever. And so our thoughts are with those people tonight.
Mayfield, Kentucky was flattened. One section of their town was just gone. Yeah, it's crazy. It's insane. Kyle Perkins, who's going to be on here, I think some tornadoes went through his part of where he lives, but not anything like Mayfield. And he drove around. He actually sent us some videos of like massive flooding, like showed like a cornfield was like totally submerged in water and like trees down and some barns down and stuff. And it's just, it's just scary. Really scary stuff.
And growing up in the South, I mean, a lot of us, we know that, I mean, you never think it can happen to you until it happens on your street.
Yeah.
But this tornado came across multiple states, started in Arkansas, traveled over 200 miles, and there were multiple tornadoes, not just this one tornado. But the point of this is our thoughts are with all those people. And before we do anything tonight, talking about hockey and trivial stuff like that, is we do want to share some ways that you can help those victims and those people who are struggling tonight, who don't have a home to go to, who lost a lot of personal items. This is the American spirit. This is what we do, is we help each other out during times of need. And so the main way you can help, this is from the governor of Kentucky, is to go to this website, https://secure/kentucky.gov/forum services/finance/WKY relief. That is the main way that you can help victims of the Kentucky tornadoes. We will share those links on our social media pages. Also, of course, you can always go to the Red Cross. You can always find other ways that we have already shared on our social media page. Also, World Vision has a link that you can go to where you can donate blankets, mini refrigerators, heaters, solar lights. These are things that people need right now. So this is way above what we talk about normally, which is hockey and talking about wins and losses. None of that matters with what people are dealing with tonight. So we want to help any way we can. So we're going to share all those links. Please look up ways to help these tornado victims. And we'll bounce back like we always do in this country during disasters like this.
Absolutely. Yeah, some food trucks from Kentucky, Louisville, actually went to Mayfield, some restaurants that are around here. Made the trip down there. I think one of the restaurants said they served like 1,700 meals today or something like that. So, everybody helps out. It's awesome.
Yep. And when you see volunteers come out like this and do these things, it really restores your hope. You hate that you have to see a tragedy like this to notice this type of stuff, but this type of stuff happens every day in this country. So kudos to all those people out there that are helping these victims out. You are a true American hero, the people that are out there helping out. With that said, let's get into episode 88 of Catfish on Ice. Our opening face-off tonight is going to be all about the 4-game road trip. We're going to recap it. We're going to give our feelings about how does that change our season outlook, because me and Rich both did not feel – we were cautiously optimistic. That's what we keep saying, right, Rich?
Yep, said that multiple times. Yes, absolutely.
Multiple times. And that's fair. That's a very fair thing to say.
Just so it's down on record. We want to make sure it's on record.
Yes.
That we were not overly excited.
Yes. Fair to say. So we have our buddy Max Greenberg, who is a fellow Predlines.com contributor. He just got done with his semester at Wake Forest. And so he wants to join the podcast. We said, come join. Come get in on it. He is a very good Preds fan. He knows his stuff. He's going to give his thoughts on the team, some team MVPs of the season so far. We are also going to give our thoughts on that. And also, he is going to talk about these rumblings about Evander Kane. Very polarizing topic. I would say a vast majority of fans want nothing to do with him. I don't blame those fans for feeling that way. And so we're going to get into that. But also, are the Preds in the market for adding any players right now? Max Greenberg is going to talk about it. And then, of course, it's Monday. So Kyle Perkins has Perk's picks coming for us. He's given us a preview of what he's got in store for us. And can I already tell you, Charlie Sheen somehow has to do with this. I'm going to leave it at that.
I don't know. Kyle.
Yeah.
So here's Justin Gambino. He's in the our fantasy league. Here's his response. Here's his response to Evander Kane. Oof.
Oof. That's a very fair response, Justin.
That's very what everybody says.
We're going to get into it with Max. With our buddy Max Greenberg, we're going to get into it. And then we will, of course, end the episode with NHL Quick Hitters.
Yep.
like we always do. Rich, before we let Max Greenberg join, let's go ahead and start with this road trip and recap it right now. 4-game road trip. They beat the Red Wings, the Islanders, the Devils, and the Rangers. Now,
Yes.
let me preface this by saying only 2 of those 4 wins do I consider against a quality opponent.
Agreed. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yep.
Even though we both said the Islanders felt like a trap game.
It did. And you look at the score, they only won, well, really all these except for the Detroit game, they won by 1 goal. So, yeah, I mean, all those teams that were on there, they all put up a good. Detroit really didn't put up a good fight, but
well, you know what's crazy about this road trip is that they strung together 4 games where I feel like they played to their identity perfectly. They did not shy away from it. In all 4 wins, I don't feel like they backed their way into a win. I think that they played their style perfectly, which is that physical, I'm going to bust you in the mouth. It's not going to be pretty at all times, but we're still going to figure out a way to win. We're going to frustrate you. We're going to annoy you. You're going to want to fight us. We'll fight back, and we're still going to figure out a way to win.
They did fight back. Yeah, so when I was watching the New York game, so watching the way they played in that game, had they lost that game, I would have obviously been disappointed, but I would have been fine because of the way they played. If they put forth that effort every night, even if they lose, I'll be pretty happy because they played a really good game. Lots of hits. They suffocated New York. Chris Mason had a good point about when New York did have the puck, the Predators just put the clamps on them, and by the time they were able to even get the puck out of their defensive zone, they're so tired they had to have a shift change. So, they need to do that.
That's their MO. That is the
night.
Predators. That is the Predators' identity is playing that way, frustrating the other team, making them not play their own style. Which I will say, the Islanders game, the Islanders are a mess right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to figure it out. They are probably the biggest disappointment in the entire league. You probably got some other candidates in there too, but I feel like the Islanders are one of the biggest disappointments in the league. No one expected them to be this bad.
Especially for how good they played in the playoffs.
So out of these 4 wins, I think me and Rich will both say that it's probably the Rangers game that's the most impressive.
Yeah.
But that Red Wings game also really, really rings true as an impressive win because the Red Wings were flying hot at that time. They've got a lot of young, exciting players, including Lucas Raymond. And the Preds kind of started this road trip off on a bang by taking care of business in very convincing fashion.
Yep.
By beating the Red Wings in that first game of this 4-game road trip.
Yes. And it was Tolvanen got a goal. Yossi got a goal. Johansson got a goal. All the people who, we were excited to see Tolvanen, start to get some steam going. Cousins even got in on the action. Dante Fabro got an empty netter. I mean, it was just a good dominating game, which is what we like to see.
And let's talk about this on the road trip. It makes this road trip even more impressive as far as anytime you sweep a 4-game road trip, you don't need any extra stuff to make it impressive. It's already impressive as it is. Yep. But this is what makes this road trip even more impressive. The Preds were missing UC Saros in the first 2 games. David Riddick had to start.
Yep.
And I'm not taking anything away from David Riddick, but the team defense in front of him also played very well.
They did. They protected him well.
And then the last 2 games of the road trip, they were missing Matt Duchene.
Yep. And
they had to call up Matt Luff. No one knew what to expect from Matt Luff.
Yep. And against the Rangers, they were missing Johansson. So
exactly.
That's huge.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think John Hines or somewhere I read on, I don't remember if it was an interview or something, but they said that they're all playing for each other now. They're not playing, for themselves. They're not, trying to do too much on their own. They're playing for each other, and that's evident. That's totally what they
evident.
did. Yeah, it's awesome.
We've been seeing that for a while now. It's kind of been gradually building up. Is you're seeing the Predators build into a team that plays for each other. I want to put a spotlight on this play from the Rangers game where you see Luke Cunnin take it's a legal hit, but it's a very, very brutal hit.
Yep.
I called this out. I said, no one get mad about this. This is a legal hit. And what did you see happen? You saw immediately Yakov Trenin come in ready to have his back.
Yep. Absolutely. That's what they do. Yeah. That's
and
what they all do.
It was a legal hit. It was a legal hit. Like, you can't get mad about it.
Yeah. Here's a good point from Mike Twitter says when the Devils were on the power play, felt like the Preds had the man advantage. Yes, that's true. Justin Gambino said, can't believe the Devils couldn't take advantage of Preds team missing Ekholm, Duchene, and Sissons. That's true. The Devils, they're pretty tough too sometimes, but yeah, they couldn't handle the Predators.
So the Preds handled some teams over this road trip, especially the Rangers, who are very much on the fence, maybe. Like, you're not sure if you want to believe in them or not.
Yeah.
I kind of put the Rangers outside of that. The Rangers, everyone feels like they're good enough to make some things happen in the playoffs. The other three teams, they're very much fringe playoff teams like the Predators are.
Yeah. So the Rangers right now, Rangers are sitting at third in their division, 39 points. So, yeah, I mean, they're no joke. So, very, very big win. That's for sure.
You don't see 1-0 shutouts in the NHL these days very often.
No, you don't. And, they're on a 5-game win streak. Last I checked, I actually checked it this morning, they've got the longest win streak going in the NHL right now. I think the next one is like 4 games. So, that's pretty awesome to see.
Well, they've won 6 of their last 7, and this is starting the stretch when they beat the Columbus Blue Jackets 6-0. Yep. And then if you really want to get technical about it, the 2-0 shutout loss to the Bruins, the game you were at, Rich, I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah,
they played very well and ran into a great goaltender.
They did.
So you want to talk about a 7-game stretch where the Preds are showing us something? This is your stretch right here.
Yeah, but now the rest of December, there's some tough games, so they're definitely going to be tested. They proved that they can play. Taking on the Rangers, they proved that they can play a better team and win. Well, now they're going to have many more opportunities in December to prove that. So, yeah, got Colorado coming in, they're coming in, and Carolina, Florida. They're playing the Washington Capitals in Washington. Yeah, some big games. So,
for sure. All right, so we got our first guest of the night, and that is our buddy Max Greenberg joining us. Add him to the stream right now. Let's get him in here.
What's up, guys? How are we doing?
Man?
I'm good.
Awesome. Fresh home
Max,
from school, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So Max just came out of Wake Forest.
Yep.
Fresh off. He's got his Preds jersey on. What Preds jersey at, Max? Lighten us on what
Yossi.
jersey you're wearing tonight.
Yossi.
The Yos.
This is my main one.
Very cool.
Well, that's a good one to have. That
is a good one.
We've talked about jerseys before, like what jersey is safe to be wearing right now. We've all agreed that wearing a Roman Yossi jersey is a safe bet.
It's about as safe as you can get at any time, and he's always doing something for us.
Yeah. Unless you pick up a Pecorino one.
Yes.
So Max, tell us how you're doing, man. I know you just finished up a semester at Wake Forest. Wake Forest has a really good football team.
We do this year.
Congratulations on that one.
Thank you. No, it's
But
been
now
it's been
now
quite
it's
a
time for
hectic
Preds
semester.
talk, though.
No, it's been a hectic semester, but now I can focus on the Preds for a few weeks. I was supposed to go to the game tomorrow night, but that's not going to happen anymore because the Flames got COVID.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
And we were going to sit in the Lexus Lounge. It was going to
Yeah.
be a great time. My mom said that she might fly me in for that, but if it gets postponed to another date when I'm back at school, but we'll see. It happens.
Oh, that's cool. That'd be good.
So,
This is the second game that the Preds have had postponed. They've kind of dodged
yeah.
the bullet when it comes to COVID postponements this season. So we still haven't even gotten a rescheduled date for the Ottawa game that was postponed. So we'll have to wait and see how long this takes. It's pretty easy to understand that most likely these games are going to have to be made up in February.
I was going to say the same thing.
Chunk of the calendar,
Yes.
where the NHL plans to go to the Olympics, and it's just looking more and more grim.
I don't think they will.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen most likely. That's why we're going to have to replace all these games.
I said something where the quarantine can be up to 5 weeks if someone tests positive. Like you can't do that in the middle of the season.
No, absolutely not.
It's just not looking good. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. That was what was funny about Calgary. They said that they didn't even fly to Chicago because if they would have went to Chicago and got caught with COVID, they wouldn't have been able to go back into the country for several weeks. So they just decided to pack it in and stay home. So smart move.
All right, so we got Max Greenberg joining us. He is a contributing writer for Predlines.com. He just put up a new article on Predlines tracking the top 5 team MVPs of the season. That's actually going to be a segment later in our episode, but let's go ahead and ask Max, what are your top 5 MVPs of the team?
So do you want me to do you want you to give an explanation for each one, or just say like what I think the MVPs are?
Go in any order you want, man. This is totally yours.
And so number 5, I have Philip Forsberg, and really only because he was injured for 3 weeks. So just by default, he's made a little less of an impact than everyone else. But he's so far in this year. I mean, I feel like we say this every year because he seems to start out hot. But this has been his hottest start to the year so far. And if he keeps this up, he's got 11. I believe it's 11 goals in 18 games. Is that right?
That sounds right. 18
or 19. It's something like that. But no, he's on absolute fire, and he has to prove it in a contract year. And it's going to be. And we always say this every week, but it's going to be interesting to see does David Poile want to re-sign him or not. I mean, you could argue any way, but he's just making us think more and more and more. And it looks like we're going to have to pay up to keep him if we want.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. It's hard to put him too high up on the team MVP list just because he missed those games. But when he's played, let's not forget here. So he's actually played 19 games this season. But he is actually on a little bit of a goal drought here for his standards. He's not scored a goal in 4 games. Over the entire 4-game road trip that we're just talking about,
that's crazy.
The Preds somehow managed to win all 4 games. They did not get 1 goal from Philip Forsberg. So that gives you a little bit more easiness in terms of somehow Preds figured out a way to sweep a road trip like this, which doesn't happen very often. And they didn't even get a goal from their top guy, Philip Forsberg.
That's true. And then my next MVP is Roman Josi. And again, the reason I said in the article, really the reason I have him so low, and I'll just say this, I am as big of a Roman Josi fanboy as everyone. I talk about him way too much with my friends at school, everyone. I talk about the Preds too much anyway, but I'm as big of a Josi fan as there is. But what I said in the article is every year he seems to be doing this. And we've had some bad years when he's playing at this level. He's the best player on this team, but I think him playing at this level does not make the difference on our team that some of these other players that we're about to mention do. That's just right. I feel like that some people I think might say put him a little low, but that's just the way I saw it because we know we're going to get this from Josi.
So it's like we just expect it now from him. Like
pretty much. That's pretty much where I'm at with that.
Yeah.
Well, so to kind of like talk about that, I'm surprised right now that you have Roman Josi. I read your article way before we went on live tonight. It was a really good article, and this is subjective here. I mean, come on now. we're ranking top 5 MVPs. But I was kind of surprised, Max, that you had Roman Josi all the way back at number 4, just based on, I mean, if you take Roman Josi off this lineup, the Preds are probably, I mean, I think they might be as bad as the Blackhawks. I mean, I'm just going to say it right now. They'd be down there with them probably.
I thought about that, but the one thing I also thought of when I wrote that article, and I got this, what I'm going to say is a 2-week stretch, but when the Preds started to turn their season around last year, that was in mid-March. That was when Josi was out of the lineup.
That's true.
That's true.
So, that's a good point.
Yeah, so that's
a very good point.
That was my thought process there. And number 3.
Well, I mean, it's a tough call it's a tough call to make, Max, as well. It's a really tough question to answer because you've got so many players outside of just 5. So we're asking you to list the top 5 when you can really go past 5 players that have really stepped up their game. So this is a really tough question.
Yeah.
So I'll go into number 3. Number 3, I had UC Saros. And I mean, what's more to say about UC Saros? He's been it's such a good thing we got that contract signed with him in the offseason because had we waited on that, we could be on the hook for, I think, almost double money. He's playing that well. And I said in the article, in his last 6 starts, he has his only 2 shutouts of the year. I believe his GAA is something like, it's like 1.49, and his goals against, and then his save percentage is above 0.94.
Yeah, for the last 5 or 6.
He's the backbone of this team, and I mean, I'll admit, I had some question about can he keep consistency as the season goes, and right now he's answering every question and then some. And if he's going to continue to improve in the season like he has in previous seasons, how good could this guy be in like February?
Yeah. And in the beginning of the season, he was hovering around like top 5 goaltender in the league. So, he's definitely kept them in some games. There's been multiple opportunities where had he not been there, they would have lost. Just big saves he's made.
Well, that's kind of what we're waiting on. Like, and Rich touches on this all the time, is he can be streaky at times. Yep. And so now we're hoping, okay, normally he streaks into this great goaltender late in the season.
Right.
Now we're getting some really good play from him early in the season.
Right.
This Preds team can't afford for him to reverse that and be terrible late down the stretch. But
and we saw last year what the difference it made when he was on his game and when he was not.
Oh yeah, he sure did.
It was night and day.
It was. And he's
all right. Go with number 2,
yeah.
Max.
Number 2, I really, really, really struggled here. You could make a case for either of these players I'm about to mention. Number 2, I put Mikhail Granlin, and I mean he's been I believe he's tied for 4th in the league in assists. And if you look at some of the assists he's made, especially in that game against the Blue Jackets where Forsberg had 4 goals, I just remember watching the 4th goal of the game. He passes it between his legs, I believe, I know it was a no look behind. I don't know if it went through his legs or not, but it was a no look behind pass that Forsberg had an easy tap. And in the 5th goal, it was from the blue line, and he threaded the needle across the defense. It was just incredible. And some of the assists he's made are just, I mean, it's not just that he's getting the assists, just some of the assists he's getting have been sensational. You have to go back and watch. There was multiple instances where I could look and say Mikhail Granlin has made some great plays. I can't talk about the Nashville Predators without talking about John Hines, and I'm critical of them, very critical of them. But one of the best decisions he's made as coach of the Predators has putting Granlin at center. Ever since he's done that, he's been able to thrive, distribute the puck. That's what he's good at. When he was playing under Peter Laviolette, he really never did that because he wasn't put in that situation. Now, with the opportunity to be at center and feeding the puck to Forsberg and Duchene, he's playing so well, and he's finally found his groove in Nashville that he's been waiting to find.
That's a really good point,
2.5 years.
Max, that's a really good point you bring up about moving him to center and playing under John Hines, because Granlin was not effective at all under Laviolette when the trade first happened. And then it took some time under Hines, for that matter, for him to really figure it out. So I really like that you bring that up, that he has moved to center, and he's at the center position. He's able to distribute the puck with that line of Philip Forsberg, Mikhail Granlin, and Matt Duchene. And I mean, once we need to get Matt Duchene back in the lineup, but that's your line. That is your money maker line.
Yes.
Right now.
That line might, besides putting Grant at center, that line might be one of the best choices he's made. That they're absolutely thriving. And here's a question. If we had a line like that in 2017 or 18, might have that been enough to put us over the top? I think about that all the time this year.
Let's
not think about that. Let's not think about the past.
Fair enough.
All right, that's gonna make us all. It's gonna make all of our heads hurt.
Well, if you look at Granlin's points, he's got 27 points right now. If he can keep up this pace for the rest of the season, he's going to start hovering into those numbers when he was at Minnesota. I'm just going to say that.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And that's good. That's what
we wanted when we got him.
That's a 60 plus point scorer, Rich.
It is. Well, he's at 27 right now, and we're not even halfway point. So
it's looking good. All right. With that, let's get Max's top team MVP. Because after you get done with this, we gotta still get to some more spicy topics with you.
Oh yeah. Number one, the man who everyone expected to be the difference maker, who's brought him to be 2 years ago, Matt Duchene, is finally finding his place on the Preds. He's the team leader in goals, and I truly believe, and I said this in the article, when he is on the ice and he's on top of his game, he's the biggest threat on this offense. When you look at his ability to shoot the puck, but also distribute it, I've been more impressed with some of the passes he's made. I remember in the game against the Devils, the third goal, he found Granlin in front, a great pass. He had a really great assist in the Blues game earlier this year. In the first goal they had against the Red Wings or on the power play, it was just an absolutely incredible pass. This guy is finding ways to be consistent. The key is, he's great when he's on his game, but he has to be consistent. And he's been consistent this year, and yet another reason why that line is doing so well. And that was my rationale behind the MVPs, because while we've had great defense, we've had great goaltenders, we've needed these guys who are going to light it up offensively. And so far, Duchene has done that not only on the goal sheet, but on the assist sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And
once you figure it out. Go ahead, Chad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Rich. I was just going to say his stick handling real quick has been really, really strong.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I was going to talk about too. So once he figured out, we talked about it with Kyle Perkins once, he would go down against the boards, behind the net and get pinched off and just get himself into trouble. But apparently he's figured out what he needs to do, because he just does not obviously he does lose the puck every once in a while, but he has some really good stick handling to get himself out of some bad situations. And it's either he's going to shoot or he's going to have a really nice pass. So,
and when you have the puck on your stick that often, you're bound to turn it over every once in a while.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I think he's figured out how to not get pinched on the boards, which is really, that was my main complaint with him. And hasn't done that in a very long time that I can remember. So it's awesome.
And also Matt Duchene has been very decisive in when he wants to shoot. I feel like when he first got to the Preds, he was very indecisive. Sometimes he would try to make the perfect decision and it would just blow up in his face. Now he's being more decisive in making the goaltender make a save, more decisive with his skating into the zone, and it's showing.
Yep.
We got Justin Gambino here with a comment. Yep. Duchene, when he is carrying the puck into the zone and just maintaining possession in the corners and getting separation to set up in the zone, is amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Very good observation there from Justin.
Yeah,
that was good. Justin Gambino, that's a perfect way to round out that segment. All right, that's Max Greenberg's top 5 MVPs. Max, I hope you stay tuned in the episode, because me and Rich got our top 5 MVPs as well.
Okay.
Before we get to that, though, we got to get to some more spicy stuff with you. Yeah. And that is, of course, Evander Kane. He is on the market. You can go shop for Evander Kane right now. And apparently, according to a lot of reports, the Preds, they're window shopping right now. I'll call it window shopping. They're not they don't got their credit card out yet. They're not gonna swipe the card yet, but they are definitely window shopping. And Evander Kane is a polarizing player for a lot of good reasons why he's a polarizing player. Max, give us your thoughts on the possibility of the Preds scouting Evander Kane in his first AHL game.
So I'll just probably say just right from the bat, I absolutely do not want us trading for him. Trading for him because even if it's a reduced salary, number one, him having all the baggage he has, it's too much. With if it's that much of a commitment, because I believe he still has 3 years on his contract after this one, and I don't, even at reduced salary, I don't want to be on the hook for a guy long term like that. And really, and also, it doesn't make sense for us to get him because he's a type of player who you want to put on team to win now. And while the Preds are playing well right now, don't let it fool you. This team is still going in another direction with their team, because they traded Ryan Ellis this summer. They traded Victor Robinson. You have to stay committed. And to me, only if it was a contract similar to Tony DeAngelo's, where it was like a 1 year prove it deal, which may or may not happen, because I feel it seems like the Sharks only want to trade him at reduced salary because that's all they're going to get for him. But like Evander Kane, I don't want him because of all the negativity he brings, and because he's a win now player and we're not a win now team. We're better off just letting our youth develop and letting that happen than adding another guy, because you don't want to jump the gun on your transition.
Yeah. I think even if Evander Kane didn't have all the baggage, I still would not be on board with it, because for one, you're going to retain at least half of his salary. The San Jose Sharks have already come out and said we're willing to retain half of his salary. Well, he's a $7 million a player a year, and he still is a long-term deal through 2024, 25, I believe. And you are taking a good chance that you're going to disrupt this locker room that's suddenly building all this chemistry. A team like the Preds, baggage or no baggage, makes no sense.
Yeah, completely agree.
So real quick before we let you go, Max, first of all, Rich, how do you feel about it? We want to get your thoughts on this, Rich.
Well, I was going to play devil's advocate and say something like maybe he's turned his life around, he's going to be a better player, but there's just no way of knowing. It's a big, huge gamble. I wouldn't mind his 56 points he had in 2018 and 2019, though. That's pretty strong. So, but it would be tough to slot him in somewhere. And like you said about the chemistry, they really don't need.
Well, and the problem is, Rich, there's no guarantee that he's just going to magically fit into this locker room. It takes time. And then you add on the baggage on top of that, it could blow up in your face. And I'm sure there are plenty of players in that locker room who don't want Evander Kane in their locker room. It has to, exactly. Yeah. It has too many bad variables. I'm sure a team's going to take a bite on him. I can see Boston taking a bite on him. I know that Toronto sent a scout there. And also, let's round out the segment with this. Just because teams sent scouts there doesn't mean they're even remotely interested. I even saw a really good post saying, like, look, sometimes these scout meetings are set up way in advance, and so they're going to go regardless, because you are going to go to these AHL games, and maybe they scheduled this meeting before they even knew that Evander Kane was going to be there.
That's true.
So that's possible too.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Max. Go ahead.
I would say I've been a proponent of David Poile for a long time, and I've did everything I can to not find a reason to fire this guy. But if he traded for Evander Kane, even at half salary, I'd really start to question, like, is this the guy we need for this team right now?
Yeah. Yeah, and what I was going to say was, we're riding high on this 5-game win streak, but the Predators are still – there's a little bit of fragility in the team. Things could go south real quick is what I'm saying, and you don't want to add you don't want to help that along. So I just think it would be a bad move to do something like that. Now, if we wanted to have a conversation about Jake DeBrusk, that might be something I would kind of get on board with. But yeah, that's another topic. That's another topic. You're muted, Chad.
You're muted. Chad, we can't hear you. You're muted.
There you go. He's still muted. There it is.
There you go. There it is.
All right, can you hear me now, Max?
We can.
Yes, we can hear you.
Gosh, I got muted here. Maybe it's
How did
because
you
I'm
do
not
that?
like, oh, who muted me? I'm
You
looking
must have
around.
said
I'm
something
only
crazy.
now.
I
I
didn't even
muted
know you
myself.
could mute
Max,
these
I
things,
appreciate
honestly.
you.
Well, I see it now.
Max, I appreciate you joining the podcast. We really appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man.
No problem.
Definitely. Good to see you.
You too.
All right.
Man, I muted myself, Rich.
How'd you manage that? That
I
was
don't
the
know.
craziest thing I've ever
I
seen.
guess. Did you mute me from Kentucky, man? Just be honest.
I did not do that. I would never do that.
Mike
You must
Twitter
have said
says he hears
something
me.
crazy. Did you say something crazy? You
I
were
do
muted.
I do say crazy stuff a lot, though.
Maybe you said something crazy. Maybe Hockey Podcast Network caught you. Maybe there's a delay and they caught you saying something crazy.
Maybe. Hey,
Maybe, I
that
don't
happens. All right, so
That's
we were
not
just
good.
talking to Max about his top MVPs.
Yep.
What are your top MVPs, Rich?
We'll run through them. So number 5, I have UC Saros. So I made some notes. He's top 15 goaltender in the league. He's having the best year of his career so far. And like I said a little bit ago, without him, the Preds would be sunk. He's made saves to keep him in the games. And yeah, I just think that it would be definitely a lot different record-wise if he wasn't on the ice. That's for sure. Do you have him ranked or you just got him like?
I do have him ranked. I did share this. I shared this like after the Rangers game. Like I was pretty fresh on it, thinking about it. I'm like, who would be my top MVPs?
Yeah.
And I'm pulling it up right now to make sure I don't mess it up here. But I was totally surprised by Max that he had Roman Yossi
Not
so far
Yossi.
back.
Yeah.
So number 5 for me was UC Saros because I don't think he's been good. He's been solid.
Yeah.
But he has not been the sole reason, in my opinion, that the Preds are where they're at right now.
Yeah.
He's been good. He's in my top 5, but he's not. He's at number 5 for me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so number 4, I've got Ryan Johansson. I wrote down the best he's looked in years, and that's a fact. He's playing with a purpose. He likes the line mates he's with on every night, and he's bought into the system. I think he's playing really well, so I would say give him a number 4 spot.
Ryan Johansson's not even in my top 5, Rich.
Oh, wow.
Although he has played well, but he's not in my top 5.
All right.
No. Number 4 for me is Philip Forsberg. I think Max had Philip Forsberg at number 4 as well. Am I correct? I think so.
I think so. Yep.
Somewhere around there. I kind of lean with his thinking. Forsberg had missed some games. He hasn't scored a goal in the last 4 games over that road trip. So that goes to show you right there that the Preds aren't just leaning on Philip Forsberg. The fact that he didn't score a goal in 4 straight games and the Preds still won all 4 of those games, that has to tell you something right there. But Forsberg is still playing a really good game, or good season.
Yep.
He's got 18 points in 19 games. That's pretty damn good. He's number 4 on my top 5 Preds team MVPs.
Yep.
Who's your number 3?
Matt Duchene.
We agree there, Rich.
What else?
I got Matt Duchene at number 3 too.
Yeah. What else can you say about Matt Duchene right now? Playing the best he's played in Nashville, that's for sure. This is his best season so far. Out of all the ones he's been here, this is the best one. So I'm really happy to see him doing what he's doing.
I put him at number 3, but I had my top 3 were really tough to sort out. But I just cannot get over how perfect Mikhail Granlin has been in distributing the puck.
Oh yeah,
and generating all the good things that happen on that line. Yes, he's not necessarily scoring all the goals, but if you're watching the Preds play right now, a good majority of the game of the good stuff that's happening right now is because of Mikhail Granlin's ability to find open shooters and a lot of those great opportunities are going to Philip Forsberg.
Yep, I agree.
Roman Yossi's my number one. I could not believe that Max. I love Max Greenberg.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. He knows his team. I could not believe that Max Greenberg had Roman Yossi all the way back at number 4, I believe.
Yeah,
I've got Yossi. Roman Yossi's my team MVP until further notice. It's going to be really hard to supplant him. Take Roman Yossi off this team.
Yeah,
they're a mess.
He's my number one as well. He's the tied for second best defenseman in the league right now. And if you take everything into account and not points, he's a shoe-in right now for the Norris, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He's my top MVP, but to be fair, Max Greenberg had Matt Duchene. I don't think that's a bad pick because Matt Duchene has played a very big role in the Predators being where they're at right now. So I don't think that's a horrible pick by Max at all.
Nope.
But you're really, really going to have to do something crazy and special for me to take Roman Yossi out of that top slot.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. 100%.
We got Max Greenberg, or not Max Greenberg. He already joined us. We got Kyle Perkins joining us for Perk's picks coming up really soon. We are also presented by DraftKings, of course, as always. And we appreciate all of our listeners for getting in on the DraftKings Sportsbook app, everyone. We got the NFL season going on right now, of course. We got, Monday Night Football going on right now. And all you got to do right now is bet $1 on any team to score, and you win $100 in free bets. It's that simple at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN. Bet $1 on any team to score and win $100 in free bets. If they score, you score with promo code THPN this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 years or older in New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit, $1 wager is required. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. And if the sportsbook is not available in your state, then there is daily fantasy to also get in on the action. So please go do that, everyone. And you won't regret it if you did, because it's free money, right, Rich? That's what you say all the time. Free money.
I muted myself that time. What is happening right now?
Why are we muting?
What are we doing? This is episode 88, and we're making rookie mistakes.
Rookie mistakes. Luckily, the Predators aren't making rookie mistakes like we are.
No. Not at all. Not at all.
All right, so we both had Roman Yossi as our top MVPs.
Yep. Deserving.
How are you feeling, Rich? How are you feeling about Rich? How are you feeling right now on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being most confident that Roman Yossi wins the Norris Trophy this year.
I'm at about an 8. I think I'm pretty confident for him. He's awesome. He's second in the league, like I said right now. So if he can keep that up, he's a shoe-in for sure. Because if you look at like where the Rangers are, and if like Adam Fox, like if you took him out of the mix, they'd probably be okay. And we've said this before multiple times. You take Roman Yossi out of the mix for the Predators, not good. It would be bad. So I don't know. Right, Kyle?
I'm on a scale of
Roman Yossi gone bad.
Yes, that's a bad time.
Wait. All right, so Kyle's I guess he's in Bridgestone Arena tonight, apparently.
He's at the Bridgie.
His background here.
Yeah, I was trying something. I wanted to see if it would work. So it looks like
that's pretty badass, dude. That's actually pretty damn cool.
Yep.
It looks like you're there, kind of.
Yeah. I've got some more stuff I'm gonna try. I need a green screen. So
Look at you.
I'm a
Getting all-
It
nerd.
looks
I
way
can't help
better
it.
than. Hey, it looks way better than my background in my living room. I'll tell you that.
I got my Christmas tree.
I like your Christmas tree. That's pretty
Yeah,
sure.
that was awesome. It was very cool.
All
Nice
right, so you're
surprise.
at
That's for
an
sure.
8. So Rich is at a scale of 1 to 10 on the confidence of Roman Yossi winning his second Norris Trophy. You're an 8. I'm at like a 5 just because I feel like Cal McCarr or Adam Fox or one of them is just going to swoop in and take it over him. Kyle, where are you at on it? Do you think he's has a pretty good chance on a scale of 1 to 10? Where are you at on it?
I think it depends a whole lot on where the team ends up. I would say about a 8.
There you go.
Just because he's so high up in points and his defense is still good. He's more of a total package than some of the. A lot of defenders have become one-trick ponies. They just play offense, and that you don't see them coming back and diving and making plays and everything else to play actual defense. They're just an extra forward out there. So I think and this is just me because I know the awards typically go to the most points is the best. So
It's not supposed to, but
it's not supposed to. It's supposed to be
sometimes
for
it
the best
does.
defenseman, but it typically goes to the most points. But he's doing well in that area too, so
yeah.
I think
It's
he's got a
tough.
good shot at it.
It's supposed to go to the defenseman who has the biggest impact on their team. So, like the year that Yossi won it, everybody was, thinking John Carlson was going to win it. And, we pointed it out then, like I just did now. If you take John Carlson out of the mix for the Capitals, they're going to be fine. So,
Yeah,
that wouldn't be that much. That's not that great of an impact. Yeah, he had a lot of points or whatever, but you take Yossi off the Predators, bad. That just equals bad. So,
yeah.
he has a huge impact.
Yeah, last year when Yossi was hurt after the Dallas game, even though Nashville still played decently after that game, for the few games he was out, you could definitely tell a difference in the team.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's get into
definitely.
Perk's picks. I know that we have Charlie Sheen reference in this one, so can't wait for this one.
That's crazy.
It's all over the place, boys. I'm telling you.
I like it.
Speaking of which, our first one starts off with a little bit of Shakespeare.
All right.
I told you.
I'm here for it.
And it's from Henry VI. It says, "Oft have I heard that grief softens the mind and makes it fearful and degenerate. Think therefore on revenge and cease to weep."
All right.
And that would be Zachary Leroux and Luke Evangelista getting snubbed by the Canadian World Junior team.
Oh yeah.
I can understand Leroux because of his personality traits, but his performance is up there. Evangelista, I don't really understand at all with the year he's had, and then in their game that they had right before they picked the team, he scored. So
that's crazy.
I was really surprised to see Evangelista get left off.
20 goals, 20 assists, 1.9 points per game. What more do you want out of a kid?
I don't know. Right? Good question.
So
I holy crap. Hold on, guys. You're not going to believe what I'm getting ready to show you on screen here. Look at that.
Hello from Norway.
Hello from Norway.
Hello, Eric. Are you kidding me right now? That's
awesome.
Awesome.
That's really cool. And Eric, I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name because I'll butcher it. But welcome to the podcast, and we really appreciate having you.
We'll try to get Chad to say Igor Shesterkin later.
Oh, I missed that. I need to hear
it. Please no.
Man.
But welcome to the podcast, Eric from Norway.
Yeah, man, that's
beautiful,
awesome.
A beautiful country.
I would love to go there.
And thank you so much for joining the podcast.
Yes, thank you. Go ahead, Kyle. Perk's picks.
So if you want to pronounce something,
Picks.
you can try to pronounce the next pick, which is a Russian word.
Oh gosh, no, please no.
When Trennan had his fight with Chara the other day,
Oh yeah.
You go on Trennan's Instagram, and he's got the picture posted, and it says, no criminality, just physicality. And
Awesome.
underneath of it is all of the teammates have replied to it and commented and everything else. And one of them was Igor Afanasev. And his comment was the word moishna
Okay.
in Russian. So I had to look it up, and it said powerfully is the rough translation. It's like, okay, that is a very apt description of Yakov's Trennan's play as of late. In the past 3 games, he's had 2 goals, 11 hits, and 1 fight with a very large human.
Maybe the largest.
The largest in hockey.
Largest in hockey, I would say. Yeah.
So, which is a debatable. That's a hot topic right now on hockey fights and everything else.
Hey man, I hate to say it. I love Trennan. I think the old man put it on him this time.
I don't think he put it on him as much as he cut him with the visor, and that's what cut him.
Well, that was Chara's powerful fist going through the visor.
Hey, but
he's
you know
such
what?
a huge man.
Hey guys, seeing Trennan with that bloodied face, though, he looks like a warrior. He looks like, and he still proceeded to have a great game after that.
Yes,
that's the best part.
He got
so I was listening to Jeff Merrick's show today, and they had Chris Mason on, and he was asking about the Predators, and Merrick asked Chris, what is wrong with Yakov Trennan that he wants to fight Chara like this? And he said Yak came out after the game, and the broadcast team and the players interact and everything. And he said he was laughing and smiling about it. And he said, well, I beat him so bad last time, I figured I would give him another chance.
There you go. That's awesome.
It's like,
hey man, he was just doing his job. Chara was doing his job too. That's all it is. But yeah, it's good. It's always exciting to watch those two go at it. That's for sure.
Trennan said he had the jersey up over his face, so he couldn't see where the punches were coming from, and he was having to guess, and he guessed wrong.
That's awesome.
So
awesome.
On this same vein of things, one of my favorite movies of all time, Major League. So there's your Charlie Sheen reference.
Yeah, I was waiting for it, Kyle. I was waiting for the Charlie Sheen reference.
Just a bit outside. Is that it?
Yep.
Is it just a bit outside?
Tiger blood? Hey, Kyle. No? Kyle, do we have Tiger blood coming into the episode here?
No, but it's more like.
Okay. I got you now.
Yeah.
The fortitude.
Yes. Nashville leads the league in major penalties.
I love
that feels like Tiger blood, though, Kyle.
Yeah, pretty much.
They got some Tiger blood in them.
Winning. Is that what he said? Winning.
So, as far as fighting goes, and this is another thing that was brought up on Jeff Merrick's show today, is you don't want to play against Nashville because they're going to try to smash you, and then if you try to fight, 9 times out of 10, you've lost.
Yeah. And if you fight one of them, you're probably going to have to fight 2 or 3 of them.
Well,
yeah.
And did you guys notice this against the Rangers on Sunday? The Rangers were getting super annoyed. Like, they were getting really agitated. And it's like, welcome to the club here. This is what the Preds do against every team. This is their style. This is their MO. For better or worse, they're going to take some penalties. It puts UC Saros in some bad situations sometimes. But this is how they play. This is who they are.
I was a little shocked that there weren't more like scrums or anything. Like, I was expecting like Reeves to throw down with somebody, but that never happened. So I don't know.
Revo's calmed down quite a bit.
Yeah.
Here in the last few years. So That
Yeah.
really didn't surprise me. He's not going to run somebody or do anything like that unless there's been a blatant dirty
Something.
move
Yeah,
done.
that's funny. Eric says, well, it's good to see the Preds forecheck at the moment. No one will claim we play sissy hockey. That's for sure. Jano has become a personal favorite. Yeah,
Me
everybody.
too.
Yes, everybody loves Jano as well, and he's another
Eric,
tough customer.
Eric, that is a really good comment there. We do not play sissy hockey in Nashville.
No, sir. That's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah, no more sissy hockey in Nashville. That I got so sick and tired the last couple of years of watching everybody just run people from Nashville, and then people just stand around and look.
Wait a minute, Kyle, go ahead and say it. You got sick of watching Austin Watson pick fights, is what you got sick of,
and lose them every time.
Yes,
lose them badly every single time.
He wasn't afraid to pick one. We'll give him credit for that.
He'd go in there and take that beating every time.
Yeah, he didn't care though. He didn't care.
Yeah.
I've got a signed puck of his over here. I was gonna give it away in the contest, but I didn't think anybody wanted it. So
no, somebody will take it.
Yeah, somebody.
People love free stuff. People love free stuff. Somebody will.
I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm gonna hold on
to it. So on to the next pick. And that is perfection. UC Saros, two shutouts in 5 games, one of them after being sick, having a stomach virus, missing a couple of games, getting Big Save Dave a couple of starts in there. UC's up to a .925 save percentage for the year. He's absolutely killing it right now. The way he played against the Rangers are a good team.
Yes, they are.
The Rangers are not a pushover. They are one of the better teams in the entire league right now. And they were so frustrated because there was 3 or 4 super high danger chances that should have went in.
Mm-hmm.
And just somehow he made the stop on them. And it just I made a meme this morning and posted it, and it was Saros painting a masterpiece in the garden.
Dude, that was such a cool pick.
And
you are an artist, sir.
A nerd with too much free time, but I'll take it.
Oh man, there's no.
Dude,
you got the best memes of anybody.
That pick of Saros coming from behind the net with Madison Square Garden in front of him, man, that was such a cool pick. Well done there, Kyle, on that one. That was really cool.
But he was never out of position. He made wild saves when he had to. The one where he fell back on his butt and he covers the puck in between his legs comes to mind.
Yeah.
And there was some flurries that I was just sure there was puck going in. Because you had Zibanejad and Panarin and everybody just down there jabbing and rebounds, and he looked like Mr. Miyagi just picking flies out of midair, and it was something to watch. It was something to behold, and he's showing that Nashville has a very, very interesting goalie conversation going to happen in the next 4 years.
I will say, as great as Saros has been, I will say the team defense has also been playing a little better as well in front of him. That's not to take away from Saros, but I do think the team in general has been playing better in terms of blocking shots, getting in shot lanes, not giving away the puck as much. I think that plays a part in it as well.
These two guys didn't make the picks this week, but I guess I'll call them an honorable mention since you kind of brought that up. Benning and Boudreau.
Mm-hmm.
Those two guys have settled in and became a good D pair. Just solid. You don't hear anything about, oh, they messed up. Oh, they did this. Oh, they did that. They made this bad play. They made this bad pass. No. They're getting exit passes out of the zone. They're blocking all kinds of shots. Boudreau is removing everybody from near the net with a lot of physical violence, and
Mhm.
they're
Yeah.
doing everything you want a third pair to do. I mean, there's those
Yeah.
guys are they're third pair D men, but they're playing like high level third pair
Yeah.
D men.
I
Mhm.
think Borowiecki put something on Twitter or Instagram talking about being paired with Benning and how well they get along, and they know the job that they have, and they go out and they do their jobs. They don't do anything, flashy, but they get the job done. And they said that that's really they've bonded and become like better because of working so well together. So it's awesome to see.
Mhm.
I think their
I like-
skill sets complement where
Yep.
Boro is more the stay at home defenseman
Mhm.
guy, and Benning has a little bit of that. He can move the puck out a little bit. He's not a Yossi
He-
Carrier guy, but
Yeah.
he can move it if he needs to.
He does get, like, when he has to bring it up and he's getting pressured a little bit, he does, you can see that he does struggle a little bit, but he can still move it around like you said. But there are times when he gets pressured and he kind of like freaks out a little bit maybe.
Yeah, you're not going to want him trying to go up against a McDavid or somebody like that. They're probably going to steal it from him and run away. But for his job, yeah, he'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
on to our next one, and I actually had to add this in, and I can't believe I forgot this because I've literally been preaching about this for the last month and a half. And the next one is from one of my favorite video games, and that's Finish Him with 2 N's.
There you go. Oh, finish. I see. Oh, I remember you tweeted that and I was like, that's a good one. I see what you did.
Ellie Tolvanen in the last 5 games has 4 goals and 11 hits. So he has the same amount of hits as Yakov Trenin, and he has 4 goals.
He's laying the body out.
Yeah,
Mr.
that's for
Tolvanen
sure.
is putting in work. He got those 3 that were tip-in goals, which honestly, of all the goals I see scored, those baffle me the most.
I can't fathom him either. Yeah, same.
I don't understand how you have the hand-eye coordination to get your stick at the right angle in front of a puck moving 80 to 90 mile an hour while moving. Yeah, I don't understand it. But whatever it took to get that floodgate open for Tolvanen,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
don't care
Yep.
because it's kept on going since.
But
Yeah,
the slam
absolutely.
dunk goal he scored against was it New Jersey?
Yes,
Where he
I think
just
so.
slapped it right past Mackenzie Blackwood. I mean, that was just like an exclamation
Mm-hmm.
point. Like, here I am. This is no doubt about it. This is a goal type of.
Yep.
I mean, just
Whenever
an incredible goal.
whenever Forsberg came around the backside of the net, or was it Granlin? I can't remember which one it was. It was one of those two.
They all
And
run
I
together.
saw Tolvanen pull the stick back, and I was like, oh no, oh no, oh
Here
no.
Well,
comes.
that's his bread and butter. That is his bread and butter type of goal right there. And so
Yep.
it was so awesome to see it do it. And that was also after Roman Yossi also scored a very similar
Yep.
style,
Oh,
just a blast of a goal.
I couldn't believe how wide open they left him. Like, you cannot do that. Like,
No,
he had a
no.
perfect lane to the net. It was awesome.
There's
Such a
not
good
many
play.
defensemen that have a shot as accurate as Yost.
Mm,
You can leave a lot of defensemen that open, and they're probably going to whiff it. He's not. He's going to pick
yeah.
a corner.
Yeah.
Especially that I'm like you guys. I don't understand how he got left that open
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
there was nobody around.
No. Nope.
So our last one. This is a little bit long. I posted a thing earlier and I said perfect podcast preparation. And I was watching the movie Miracle,
Oh, such a
one
good
of my
movie.
favorite movies. Um, and what I was watching it for was a quote from that movie. And if you look into it, there was actually a lot more said by Herb Brooks. And that was legs feed the wolf. And he said, "The legs feed the wolf, gentlemen. Think about it. What do wolves eat? They hunt in packs. There is no such thing as a lone wolf who can survive in the wilderness. Wolves live together, hunt together, eat together. How does a pack of wolves hunt? They chase their prey for miles and miles until their prey tires out and drops to the ground out of fatigue. The wolves outlast their prey. They don't have to be faster to win. They just have to be able to run farther and longer than the animals they hunt. Strong legs can run farther than weak legs, so it is indeed the legs that feed the wolf." That is the mentality of this team this year.
Ooh.
They are running people down the entire game. They push people till what you all were saying about the Rangers, how they just looked disheveled, they looked confused because nobody has just ran them and been on that forecheck and been on the back check and been just relentless because they start the forecheck on that first shift. Especially if the Jeannot Sissons Trenton line starts the game, they're going to come at you guns a blazing and start putting you in the glass the first shift of the game.
Mm-hmm.
That, and I talk about Dan Hinote a lot, and that's his mentality. You run people up and down that ice as hard as you can for 60 minutes. You're eventually going to get in their heads and get them tired and get them off their game, and that's when you take advantage of them.
And to that note, Kyle, they win loose puck battles. What I've noticed about the Preds over this winning stretch here over the last like 7 games or whatever is every time you see a 50-50 puck battle, I feel like the Preds are just smothering that other player, whoever it is, to get that loose puck. And a lot of times they get the loose puck and they knock it back out to the point man and they set up. They set up zone time, and it might not end in a goal. I noticed that in the Rangers game. In the Rangers game, even though they only scored 1 goal, they were finding loose pucks, and they were figuring out ways to keep it on that end of the ice and not let the Rangers manufacture a lot of offense.
Mm-hmm.
They were keeping the Rangers out. They were making them have to do long shifts, and they were all out of sorts. They couldn't get a rhythm set up. They forced them to play their game, and when you can force another team to play your game, you've got them. That's what it boils down to. You're in control. And to go into somebody else's barn and do that to them, especially a place like Madison Square Garden, you don't get much more legendary as far as arena go. So that was something. That was not a game I expected to go that way. Quite honestly, whenever I heard Duchene and Johansson were both out, everybody came in and is pulling the rope. Michael McCarron almost scored a goal. I don't know if y'all remember this play.
He almost did.
It was inches from being a goal. And you know what? I never saw Matt Luff do anything dumb. I don't remember him being brought up.
I was about to bring Matt Luff up. He didn't play a lot of minutes. I think he played less than 10 minutes of the game, but he certainly did not do anything boneheaded to make you feel like this guy does not need to be back in the lineup. Obviously, he's only playing because of Matt Duchene being out. But, I mean, the guy's got over 60 games of NHL experience. So it really speaks to the depth of this team. And we've really, blasted David Poile for making some really dumb decisions in the past. But a lot of people are ready to move on from him. But the depth of this of the minor league system and the NHL roster itself is really showing itself right now because, I mean, the team has dealt with plenty of injuries, including Phil Forsberg, who was out for a while, and they're still figuring out ways to win. And so kudos to them figuring out a way to beat the Rangers, even with Matt Duchene, their leading goal scorer, out. I mean, just pretty amazing.
And that one goal was sick too, by the way. We haven't talked about it at
Tomasino,
all, but
yes.
oh my gosh, that pass from Forsberg was like beautiful. And then for him to finish it right in the slot like that, it was just awesome. So
Perfect.
awesome to see.
Phil seems like he's figuring it out.
Oh, yeah.
He's not having a bad first year, but he's not having a super great first year, which I think could actually end up being better for him. He's not having all the pressure put on him at the get-go.
Yeah,
Um,
right. That's true. Eric had a good question. You guys know if Duchene's hurt for long? That was one thing missing in the Rangers game. We still struggle for finishing up front. It's day to day,
they
right?
all they've said is day to day. I hope it's not for long.
I think they're.
well-
I would think that they're just being cautious with him.
Yeah.
And you see that day-to-day designation with a player like Duchene in an 82-game season. It's probably one of those things where if it was this is just me giving my initial thought on it. I'm not behind the scenes at all, but I would think that if it was a playoff do-or-die situation, he'd be playing right now. That's just my overall belief about it. I think that the team feels really good about their prospects and about their players who, just like we were just saying, like a Matt Luff, who can come in and fill in for a couple games. And the team knows what they have to do defensively in the way they play, where maybe they can survive a game or two without Matt Duchene. Or, Phil Forsberg missed several games, and the team still figured out a way to keep their head above water and not completely fall apart. So that really gives you a lot of confidence in that this team can maybe sustain a full 82-game season in all the injuries that are inevitably going to happen. Maybe they can just figure it out, and they got players who can come in when injured players go down.
I bet he'll be back Thursday against Colorado.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Since they don't have to, since they're not playing Calgary, I bet he'll be back. That's just a guess, though. Yeah.
And we didn't even mention that at the beginning of the episode. So the game, I'm sure a lot of our listeners already know this, but yes, the game was postponed, not canceled, but postponed on Tuesday night against the Calgary Flames. The Flames have a little bit of a COVID outbreak going, and this is actually going on throughout the league. It's becoming a really big problem.
Yeah.
And it's really making it a huge obstacle that the Olympics are going to be able to happen for the NHL players because they're going to have to make up these games in February.
Yeah. It's a bummer because I was really looking forward to hockey in the Olympics, but I don't want it to jeopardize the hockey season, obviously. So,
all right, with that,
here's one more thing of talking about the Olympics. Most of the arenas have booked their arenas during that Olympic break.
Oh,
so
that's not good.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, that could be a problem.
Wow.
Let's get into our NHL Quick Hitters here with Kyle to wrap up episode 88 of Catfish on Ice presented by DraftKings. Our first quick hitter of the night is let's talk about the Evander Kane situation with Kyle. That face says it all.
Yeah,
how do you feel about him?
Like, I don't like it.
He makes his AHL debut. No one thinks he's going to the Preds, but just tell me, do you think he ends up on an NHL team? Do you think that he's just gonna? I don't know. What do you think is gonna happen with it?
Logan Mailloux did. The Canadiens draft pick.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
So it wouldn't surprise me if somebody picked him up.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it too. It turns out that all the like some of the baggage that he brings with him, some of it was like the things that were blamed on him weren't true. But then, like as soon as that started getting cleared up, he did something else goofy, and it's like you're not helping your case here. So I don't know.
And the fact that his own teammates don't want him there have came out publicly and said, we don't want him here. We don't want him in the locker room. why do you want a guy like that? Especially for a place like Nashville where the locker room seems like it's the best it's been in years.
Mhm.
I mean, if you're just a team that is just straight up doing nothing but chasing a cup and you don't care and it's just all business, maybe I could see that, but I
Yeah.
don't.
Somebody will pick him up, I bet, but I don't think Nashville's the spot for him.
No, he doesn't seem like a Nashville kind of player.
Mm-mm.
So
No,
No,
not at all.
not at all. Not at all.
All right, then
Eric.
another quick hitter here. We have finally the Stars are shedding some goaltenders here. They have all these goaltenders, and we see Hudobin is finally on waivers here. What do we think about that?
Go ahead, Kyle. You go first.
I'm kind of sad. I like Dobby.
I know, me too.
He's not a bad goalie. I mean, he's not had a great year this year, but
They
have a surplus.
Yeah. The year when they were playing in the bubble or whatever, they rode him so hard, and like he had some very, very tough games, and he kept them, took them all the way to the end. You know, they couldn't finish it and win the cup, but like that dude played his butt off, and it's kind of sad to see him get put on waivers like this. But there's no way. I don't know. Unless there's something else going on, there's no way that Holtby's better than him.
That's what was weird. It's not even about Holtby anymore. They have their equivalent to Connor Ingram for us in Jake Ottinger. Who is a really good young goaltender. And that's why when they added Holtby over the offseason, it made no sense to me because I was like, why do you need Holtby, a goaltender that's way past his prime?
Weird.
And so now they've pretty much made a waste of a move because now they put Hudobin on waivers, which, I mean, I expect someone to pick him up. But
I'm surprised. Yeah, it would be.
You know, it's.
I mean, you think of teams that are like really bad off at goaltender. Look at Buffalo right now. Their best goalie is Malcolm Subban. Colorado's had goaltending issues all year. Seattle. I mean, I don't know how
with Grubauer, Philip Grubauer.
Yeah, they're in a bad shape at goaltender. There's several teams out there that are either very thin or very flawed.
Yeah, he'll get picked up off waivers somewhere. He won't clear waivers, I wouldn't think. I'd be totally surprised.
No, I don't. It really wouldn't surprise me to see Colorado grab him.
Oh wow!
And he's one of those types of goaltenders where he can hit a hot streak and be a really good player for a team.
Yeah. Speaking of Seattle, I was just looking at the standings. Man, they are in a bad way right now. They're definitely not going to have the same luck as Vegas did in their first year. That's tough. Whew. They are having.
Oh wow! I just pulled up the power rankings on Money Puck, and the Preds are 8th.
Wow, really? It's crazy to hear, like, to see people on like ESPN Plus, like during the intermissions, talking about how Tortorella talking about how tough the Preds are and all this stuff. You just haven't heard that for several years. And it's good to hear.
Yeah, whenever you get Canadian shows talking about Nashville hockey, you're doing something.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's good.
Sorry, I derailed it. I was looking to see where Seattle
was. Going back to Hudobin here.
Yeah.
It's all good. Let's go back to Hudobin here. Eric on YouTube says Ottinger actually outplays them both. He's like a 950 save percentage. Small sample size, still. Yeah. Yeah.
Ottinger
Jake Ottinger
is actually
he is the equivalent to our Connor Ingram.
Ottinger is actually right behind UC in goal save above expected.
Yeah.
Wow. So the Stars have their goaltender here. Yep.
Yeah.
That's their goalie of the future right there. Absolutely.
For sure. All right, so this has been episode 88 of Catfish on Ice. We appreciate everyone joining us for this jam-packed episode. We will be reacting live on Thursday to episode 89 with the Colorado Avalanche coming to Bridgestone Arena. Can't wait for that. Let's hope that we can solve all of our nightmares that we have recently had against the Avalanche. I don't know about that, but we'll see. Yeah, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's been rough. But the Preds, they are totally vibing. That's what we all like to say these days. The Preds is they're vibing. They're totally doing that. And now they have a 3-day break due to this little COVID outbreak with Flames. I think maybe it could be a blessing in disguise. They can get a little bit of rest here because they have been playing a lot of games lately. So we will see everyone on Thursday. Again, we were presented by DraftKings. This has been episode 88 of Catfish on Ice with Kyle Perkins, Rich Howe, and Chad Minton. We appreciate everyone. Thank you so much to Max Greenberg for also joining us earlier in the episode. And we will see you Thursday. Everyone have a great week.